Didn't see that. Thank you. I needed those eyes. So what this will be means the ball is sometimes going to be slower or faster. It's going to go left, right, you know, a little bit better, up, down, change the spin. Training time limit is 10, so we're going to leave it at 10. That's fine. Oh, thanks for the follow. We appreciate you. Ooh. Kind of like this. We're going to see how this goes. The car rotation variance, so I can be looking a little left or a little right. And then we'll also make the location a little bit differently and see how that works. And the point in doing all this is to make it so that it's more about reacting to the shot and less about muscle memorying the shot. I want to... Which is a lot more likely to be like Rocket League. So, I want to go up. It's a lot more Rocket League-esque. Where the paths aren't like... Oh, that was fast. But I think that's pretty interesting. Oh, that one's too high. Because maybe I need to this one.
Can I pick that dog?
No.
Can I pick that dog?
No, he's
Can I
sleeping.
pick that dog?
Oh. I was already looking. Discord ping didn't get me there. So I figured out how to make it so that, oh, interesting. That doesn't just go up the wall anymore. I don't like this shot on this variance. This one's fine. Does that actually work this time? Do people actually have ads? Because I've had mixed results with this actually working. Ads for plebs. Another fun thing you'll learn here, Panthers, is in general I tend to just refund points unless you make me do something I don't want to do. And the reason I phrase it that way is because, A, I'm not a huge fan of ones, so when people make me play ones, I take their points. Which is fair, I mean, that's channel points. And if you make me play a song I don't want to play, I'll probably take your channel points. Thick of it. In moderation, meaning as long as it's not like we swear here, that's fine. But you know, everything in moderation. It shouldn't be every other word, but you can be like, what the fuck is this? But you know, situations are situational, so. Alright, there's like 40 versions of this. I don't know what you want. Which one do you want? I don't know which one's the original. Okay. What's up next? Sometimes when I snap windows, so I just snapped a window, so I've got 3 monitors. My left monitor's on that side, cam's inverted. And when I snapped something, so, you know, drag to the corner to let it snap, my right monitor background just went completely, like, gray, like, the background color of like Discord, like this color, gray. And it was very strange, and I don't know why it did that. So Australian. Personally, I don't give a shit if you use the word cunt, but some people do get offended by it, so case-by-case basis on that one. Because I understand. I know Australians. Okay. Ah. This variance thing is throwing me off on this level in particular. But it's good, because this is a very common sort of like pass in Rocket League. Ow. Ow. That one's just straight in. It's so hard to touch this, like, just right. That's fair. So that's kind of on target. Oh, that one's far. Alright. I like the idea of this variance. But how do I... Like... Okay, I can just set the boost. Alright.
Emotional damage.
So the other streamer I'm going to be streaming with in a little bit. They're EU, for those of you unaware. Onoj Jano, ONNAJ San. Another streamer here, does Rocket League go to content. He's EU based, but we're going to be streaming with him here in a little bit. And so there may be some tomfoolery as we try and figure out how the whole combined chat thing works. But the plan is, in about an hour to get that working. But it's gonna first time either of us has done the combined chat, so it's gonna be interesting. But the sort of goal of it is, yeah, we're gonna do that in like an hour if you're still here. That would be great because we're both hoping it's kind of easy. But I have no idea how it works. But the plan is he's EU, we're gonna run ranked on NA and just see how like ping affects him. It's not easy. Oh no. Alright. I think I tried it once to somebody as a joke, and then another screen popped up and it was like, I'm like, what the heck is all this? Alright. Quick side quest. We're reading an article. I'm sorry everybody, flashbang incoming. Getting started. So you invite guests, start sharing chat. So I know you hit the like button on their stream. Or do you have to invite guests? Like... This makes it look really easy. But is it just like I invite a guest, or do I go to their stream and say, hey, I would like to collaborate? Or do I have to do something from, like, my creator dashboard or something? I don't know how the... Yep. We've got ducks. We've got keyboard, mousepad, mousepad, mousepad. Keyboard, switch, that. The rest of this is my stream, because I pop out my activity feed, my point redemptions, so that I can actually follow them, because ADHD does not let me pay attention to point redemptions. But, like, everything else, I think, is pretty stream related. Music, OBS, Steam, bot. So we knock. Someone is trying to collaborate with you, vice versa. Just mute it. Okay, that we have to be in it. Share chat. Okay. Oh, yeah. No, you're good. Nah, it makes sense. Basically, one of us has to go to their stream and say, knock knock. And then weird pop-up thing happens. That's how far I'd gotten before when I had... Ah, too far. Wait. Appa, is that ADHD and autism, or... Yeah, I know where the knock button is. It's near the, like, subscribe and stuff. Because every time I raid somebody, it's like, oh, you haven't ended yet. And then it's like, oh, you've ended. Ah, stupid. Overcorrections. Okay. So, that's very strange to me. So, part of the reason that's strange to me, Appa, is... So, I have a little bit more insight to a lot of this than a lot of people because my wife is a therapist. And so... I'm very aware of what's going on with me. I'm not great. Untreated ADHD will oftentimes show signs of depression. For example, if I stay off meds for a little while and don't, like, force myself to do what I need to do, i.e. clean, self-care, stuff like that, it's very depressive. Like, it's difficult. Because you want to do things, but you can't do things because you're overwhelmed by things you haven't done, so you don't do things, and it sucks. But I manage... How familiar are you with software development? So, I take meds as needed. I don't take them very often. I usually take them when I stream, because you think I'm sidetracked now. Whew. It would be so much worse. Like, this is me medicated. So... Is it the cigarettes or is it the nicotine? Because if the cigarettes are the only thing that help you concentrate, I would argue go with, like, gum, like nicotine gum or something like that, because it's Okay. Okay, yeah, that's fine. That's fair, that's fair. I just never heard them called California cigarettes before. I'm kind of near Boston, so... I mean, that's the biggest major city. I'm not in Boston, but... it's a city around me that people would know. Oh, yeah, it's whatever. As long as it's... as long as we're not talking about illicit substances, like, I don't want people talking about things that aren't, like, legal. But, anyways, sorry, I switched conversations, Appa. I'm not quite sure what ADHD autism is. I'm familiar with what ADHD is. I'm familiar with what autism is. Autism is now considered a broad spectrum. They call it the spectrum as opposed to autism now. So the fact that your diagnosis includes the word autism to me is kind of strange. I don't know when this was diagnosed. But they don't use the word autism or autistic really anymore. Then technically I don't have ADHD. Technically I have ADD with hyperactive tendencies. They condensed ADHD and ADD into sort of one thing. So I'm very confused. I'll ask my wife when she wakes up if you want me to about what that means, if you'd like. But for me, and something I try and bring to my daily life, is break down big tasks into smaller tasks, which is something I learned from software development. So when you're trying to decide how long a project is going to take, you break it down into smaller bits, and then you estimate how much time each of the smaller bits are going to take. And so by taking this big project and turning it into 10 small projects, you're able to accurately estimate how much time things will take. I took the theory of that, applied it to tasks. For example, saying I need to clean the house is a big task and nothing's going to get done because I'm going to be frustrated and there's too much to do. Saying I'm going to clean up the papers on my desk is a much smaller task, much more achievable, something I can sit down and do at once. So I break up big tasks into small tasks, and I complete one task at a time, make sure I have enough time to do a task, and then I just do the task. I force myself to do it. I know just doing things doesn't work with ADHD, but that's where discipline comes in. You know, it has to get done. Find some sort of reward mechanism that works for you. It's not easy, and it's not something you can just do, but breaking things up into smaller pieces helps. For example, I set schedules, so I have a very rigorous sleep schedule because if I'm off schedule, it just completely collapses and I fall into chaos. When I get home from work, there's a very, very specific schedule I do before I can, relax. And that helps me with self-care, but routines are what really help. If you can get a routine, that will help with whatever you need to do. Just in general, not just ADHD people, but people in general. But routines are key. Something wrong with your hand. What part of your hand? Oh, no worries. So the short answer is because I like them. It gives me an excuse to wear them, and it's different. So almost nobody else other than, casters are wearing suits, so I'm different. I stand out. Long answer is, I've had suits, and I've always kind of liked suits, like dressing up fancy. And so, for example, when I got married, one of the things I had to have was I needed to have a three-piece suit because I like the idea of three-piece suits. You see them on TV, you're just like, ooh, I like that. Like, there's just this element of class. Now, I don't have a three-piece suit on right now because this is actually my wedding suit, and I got married before COVID, which means I haven't lost all my COVID weight yet, and that basically means I'm too fat to fit into the vest for this jacket. But I do like the suits. I like the, I don't know, confidence, elegance. Every time my hand's lifted, it hurts, tightens up. Rubik's Cube! Yes, sir! See? That's how we do, that's how we do. Trey, did you recently pick up something really heavy? Because that almost sounds like it might be a tendon. Tendons are basically like really small muscles. And that's something that you would see a lot in like strains or like rock climbing or something like that, is weird. Like, it sounds like it might be where some things connect. Hate these straight ups and downs. This is literally why I want to learn how to tornado spin, is these ups and downs. The other thing, it could be... No, that's not quite the right area. If you want to, Appa, I'm more than happy to try and help you clarify things if you're confused by it. Back of my hand, thumb and index finger. So like right here. This like little area here. Have you been playing a lot of games lately? Because if it's been for the past several days, it could literally be a strain from gaming a ton. Because if you spend too much time with the controller and your muscles are tense, that is an area that will have issues. Tendonitis. It might be. I'm not sure. Exactly. Or the left stick. Yeah. And you take breaks. So there are also exercises that for your hands that they suggest to do. Hold on, I'm having two conversations at once. I'm gonna get back to this in a sec. DMing about the shared stream thing right now. All right. So, all right, back to this. So, flashbang warning. Make sure you're... So, it sounds weird, but make sure you're actually stretching your hands, especially when doing stuff like that. So, if you just look up, like, gaming stretches, stretching these things, stretching stretching fingers, thumb extension stretch. But the other thing is this as well. Going through these. Just, you know, fist, open ham, palm, open ham, tabletop, claw, half fist, which is kind of like that, and then fist. Doing these will help just stretch out things in your hand. So just try and do the stretches. Or you can look up, like, this is a more common, like, it's probably this one right here, right? That sort of right one. So, yeah, work on that because it's repetitive exercise. It's a tendonitis. Switch mode. Oh, does anybody here solder? Or know how to desolder well? I was having a little bit of issues desoldering the old thumbstick on my other Xbox controller. I don't know if anybody's ever done that. It looks like all the solder's gone, but the stick still just doesn't move. I'm not quite sure, as I don't desolder a lot, if anybody had any tips. Spongy! How you doing? Because... There. Yeah, soldering's a lot different. I know how to solder, it's just I don't desolder very often. So, like, I'm used to putting the solder on and soldering things, not taking it off. Welding is something I would like to get into. I like the idea of welding. The idea of, I like these two pieces of metal, they are now one. Because there's so many creative things you can do with that. Yeah. Now, I got angry at it last night. Yeah, if you want to send it in DMs, Appa, it would help me remember, because then I can see the ping, and then when my wife wakes up, I can ask her about it. Well, after she wakes up. Because she would be the one to know. She's the one who went through school for that sort of thing. Can you... Can't. I was about to say, can you imagine doing rings with limited boost? And then I remembered that there are maps like that, and I get angry at them, and that's why I don't do them. Well, I mean, I don't get angry, I just get, like, hard stuck focused. Okay. Yeah. I got a little angry at it desoldering, so I don't know how much you guys know about the actual joysticks, these things that are in the controllers. This is fairly standard Xbox, PlayStation. They're a little bit different, but they basically all look like this. With enough force, these little things on the side that are green, that's how it measures like your X and Y. Except the camera doesn't like it. There we go. So with enough force, you can physically pry that off. And then you have just 3 pins to desolder. Oh, 100%. 100%. In a depressive state, there had been times where it would take me like a week to take a shower. And the only thing that sort of, but the other thing is like, it's more of like I forget as well. Again, the best thing I've found that works for me is routine. I have to do this every X days. So if I can't do it every day, I do it every other day. But the other thing that I've heard online that I really like the phrasing of it is anything worth doing is worth doing poorly. And what that means is, yes, it's better to brush your teeth, but it's better to poorly brush your teeth than to not brush your teeth. So even if you just can't even, and you're like, I don't want to, I can't, it's better to do it poorly than to not do it at all. That has helped me, because there are times when I'm like, I don't want to brush my teeth, so I'll do a 30-second,